crash course on economics with interesting examples and stories. Economics is a social science that studies the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. It is a complex and diverse field, but there are several core concepts that are central to understanding economics. Here is a crash course in some of the most fascinating aspects of economics. One of the most basic concepts in economics is supply and demand. The law of supply and demand states that the price of a good or service is determined by the interaction of its supply and demand. When demand is high and supply is low, prices go up. When demand is low and supply is high, prices go down. A good example of this is the housing market. When there is a high demand for housing but a low supply, prices go up. Conversely, when there is a low demand for housing but a high supply, prices go down. Another important concept in economics is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost refers to the cost of foregoing one alternative in favor of another. For example, if you decide to go to college, the opportunity cost is the income you would have earned if you had decided to start working immediately instead. Understanding opportunity cost is important for making informed decisions about how to allocate resources. The concept of comparative advantage is also central to economics. Comparative advantage refers to the ability of one country or individual to produce a good or service at a lower opportunity cost than another. This creates a potential for mutually beneficial trade between countries or individuals, even if one is better at producing everything. For example, if country A is better at producing cars and country B is better at producing computers, they can both benefit from trading with each other. In addition to these basic concepts, economics also includes a number of fascinating subfields. Behavioral economics, for example, examines the psychological factors that influence economic decision-making. This includes factors such as cognitive biases, social norms, and emotions. Another interesting subfield is environmental economics, which focuses on the relationship between the economy and the environment. Environmental economists study topics such as pollution, natural resource management, and climate change. One of the most famous experiments in economics is the prisoner's dilemma. In this experiment, two individuals are given the opportunity to either cooperate or defect. If both cooperate, they both receive a small reward. If one defects and the other cooperates, the defector receives a large reward and the cooperator receives nothing. If both defect, they both receive a small punishment. The prisoner's dilemma highlights the tension between individual self-interest and collective benefit. Finally, economics also plays a major role in public policy. Governments use economic principles to make decisions about taxes, regulation, and public spending. For example, policymakers might use economic analysis to determine the optimal level of taxation or to evaluate the effectiveness of a particular policy intervention. There are several branches or subdisciplines of economics that focus on different areas of research and practice. Here are some examples. 1. Microeconomics. Microeconomics is the study of how individuals and firms make decisions about the allocation of resources. It examines the behavior of individual consumers and producers, and the market interactions between them. Microeconomics is concerned with topics such as supply and demand, market competition, and pricing strategies. 2. Macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is the study of the economy as a whole, including factors such as inflation, unemployment, and economic growth. Macroeconomists examine the relationships between different economic variables and the policies that governments can use to influence them. Topics in macroeconomics include monetary policy, fiscal policy, and international trade. 3. Behavioral economics. Behavioral economics is an interdisciplinary field that combines economics and psychology. It examines the psychological factors that influence economic decision-making, such as cognitive biases, social norms, and emotions. Behavioral economists use experimental methods to study how people behave in economic situations and how they make decisions. 4. Development economics. Development economics is the study of economic development in low-income countries. It examines the factors that contribute to economic growth and poverty reduction, including education, health, and infrastructure. Development economists also study the effectiveness of different policy interventions, such as foreign aid and microfinance. 5. Environmental economics. Environmental economics is the study of the relationship between the economy and the environment. It examines the costs and benefits of different environmental policies, such as pollution taxes and cap-and-trade systems. Environmental economists also study the economic impact of climate change and other environmental problems. 6. Industrial organization. Industrial organization is the study of how firms compete with each other in markets. It examines the behavior of individual firms and the interactions between them, and how these interactions affect market outcomes. Topics in industrial organization include market structure, pricing strategies, and antitrust policy. 7. Public economics. Public economics is the study of how governments allocate resources and provide public goods and services. It examines the economic impact of different policies, such as taxation, social welfare programs, and public infrastructure. Public economists also study the efficiency and equity of government interventions in the economy. These are just a few examples of the many branches of economics. Each branch has its own unique focus, but all contribute to our understanding of economic behavior and the functioning of the economy. In conclusion, economics is a diverse and complex field that plays a central role in our daily lives. By understanding the basic concepts and subfields of economics, we can better understand the world around us and make informed decisions about how to allocate our resources.